Welcome back. You're watching Profit Fundamentals. IFCI reported numbers as well. The management is joining us. Mr. Atul Kumar Rai, CEO and MD at IFCI, is with us from Delhi. Mr. Rai, good morning, sir. This is Ira from the studio. Thanks for joining us. So just want to start by getting a summary of what the quarter looked like. Seems like it was a bit subdued, and so the profit numbers were a bit down. I didn't pick up anything in the press release specifically, the reason behind the profit coming off.
Good morning, Ira. You are being very kind to our results. Profit is down more than 29% in terms of PAT figure. And of course, profit before tax is more or less at the same level as last year. And main thing which has happened is that top line isn't growing as fast as it was. And we don't have any more NPAs to recover. These two are, I would say, very IFCI specific factors. Add to it the general slowdown in the economy and the increase in interest rates by about 125 to 175 basis points. And you have our results in full, in the sense that we are doing all the running we can, but all that running is not translating into a very healthy growth in terms of profit. Although the level itself seems okay in terms of, again, the legacy and what we are looking ahead at. This is still better than what we might face if the economy does not improve 2 or 3 quarters down the line.
So the core of the problem, sir, is simply not the ability, the NPA issue aside, not being able to recover more, but the core is probably that you're not being able to expand your balance sheet, something that you've done quite aggressively in the past, in the good years. I guess the scope to do that is simply not there right now.
Absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say, that it has been better. In fact, it has been a deliberate attempt on our part to slow down our growth, because we see that with the kind of slowdown in investment activity, we really don't have demand for our main product, which is term loan for industry and infrastructure. So, and you have increase in interest rates. So even if we lend, we do not know whether we'll be able to make money on it, in the sense of, the ability of the borrowers to be able to repay in time is also in question, because they themselves are facing problems in their cash flow.
Okay, so sir, what should we expect then? Right now I think the balance sheet is just under 28,300 odd crore. Should we expect anything in terms of growth for the full year, sir?
For the full year, I think we would be having the same kind of growth as we had last year. As I said, we have deliberately pulled ourselves back about 1.5 years ago. We will be very happy with a growth of about 10%, because as I said, in this scenario, in this environment, and given the fact that we are a non-banking finance company, we would be facing much more severe limits to our growth. We don't have access to deposits. So all the money that we borrow has to be borrowed on the basis of our performance. As it is, the rate of interest is much higher. So I think we need to subdue our growth, and we should be looking at about 10% rate of growth in the balance sheet. So at the end of the year, we'll be very happy if we can have a balance sheet size of about 30,000 crores.
Sir, a couple of questions again on the operational side. One, I see that the NIMs are at about 2.4. I don't know what the quarter-on-quarter comparison is, but is that sort of the steady state on margins? And also, you were talking about, the ability or, the cost of funding in the open market. Have you seen sort of a steady rise in the cost of funding at all?
Yes, as I said, over the last 1 year, we have faced an increase in our resource cost, dependent on the rate of interest, by about 125 to 150 basis points. About the NIMs, as I said, in case of NBFCs borrowing from the banks or borrowing from the secondary sources, we are okay if we have a NIM of around 2.5. As it happens, I have been going through the figures of the financial sector, and I think NIM of 2.5% for IFCI is what would be sustainable. We had a little higher NIM last year, but it's now kind of averaging out to about 2.4, 2.5 level.
Okay, sir, now coming to the NPA side, and you haven't had any increase in NPA, which is interesting because every other bank is, reporting an increase in NPAs and also coming in from the corporate end. So I'm wondering how you're sort of escaping that problem, sir.
We have just about managed so far. I'm not very sure we would be able to do it for much longer, because as I said, there is going to be pressure on the cash flows of those who have borrowed from us, because they are not going to be able to start operations, or they are not going to be realizing their own projected revenues owing to the slowdown. I mean, we are looking at about 30 to 35% slowdown in investment demand and activity in the economy. And this is where we are exposed in that sense. So for the moment we are safe. We had only one very minor slippage during the quarter. But we would be, as I said, we would be having to prepare ourselves for restructuring, rescheduling and so on. That is going to be happening, as is already evident in the rest of the financial sector, and particularly through the much higher referrals to the corporate debt restructuring forum so far this year.
Is there any way to get a guidance, sir, in terms of, are there slippages which are already starting to show up, accounts where payments are running late? I guess these would be fairly chunky exposures for you because, one goes bad, then that would add to the NPA numbers. What's the best way of understanding what could lie ahead in the next couple of quarters?
I would say that, especially in the infrastructure sector, we have problems which are not borrower specific, which are general. It would be up to us to look at how we can realign our own repayment terms to the cash flow or to the revenue realizations of the borrowers. So here I think we would have to take a constructive and a medium-term approach. In some other cases, obviously we would have to put our enforcement machinery for recoveries into action. There we have been quite efficient so far. Of course, as I said, that is the last kind of option. But in some cases that would become inevitable. So that is how it goes, and eventually the idea would be to contain the NPAs as much as possible. And I think at about 2%, we have not added any fresh NPAs, but we are reaching the tolerance limit for what can be considered NPA level for our kind of company.
Okay. So while we're talking about this issue, there were some reports suggesting that you're opting out of the CDR forum, sir. What was that about? Is that true? And if so, why?
We have already opted out of the CDR forum. It has been some time now, partly because, as I said, as NBFC, we do not have the same cost of funds as the banks who predominate in the CDR forum. So the terms of reschedulement and restructuring, which are okay with them and should be done by them, they do not kind of fit into our own, operational model, especially from the cost of funds point of view. Sometimes also from the tenure point of view, because if you see 3 to 5 years of, of your own liability to service, you cannot, as an NBFC, you cannot have repayment rescheduled over 10-year or a 12-year period. So these were the two options. We tried our best. We were one of the first ones to have actually been a member of CDR, but it kind of was telling on us, and therefore we had to opt out.
Got that. So just a last question on two pending issues. I was just wondering if any resolution forthcoming on the Deccan Chronicle issue, and also there's the issue with the government on your liabilities or your lending to Hindustan Cables. Both of those have been doing the reports around in the press. Any resolution on either of those two accounts, sir?
As far as Deccan Chronicle is concerned, we have failed in terms of being able to make our recoveries of 25 crores on 26th of June. Thereafter, we had to move the courts for different kind of reliefs, which was the only way out. We tried and we waited, but it didn't work out, and so we have gone to the High Court for winding up of the company. We have also had to take action under Negotiable Instruments Act, and there is an action also under Debt Recoveries Act. Being an unsecured lender, this was the only way out for us. Lately, I think that there are many other lenders who have also been adversely impacted by the developments in that company, and they have had a meeting and they would be deciding their course of action. Just in the meanwhile, I would like to add that over the weekend we have managed to recover 6 crores through the Debt Recovery Tribunal. So our exposure has come down to 19 crores. I would only urge the promoters to make our liability good and establish their own credibility for other lenders to be able to help them out. As that is as far as the Deccan Chronicle case is concerned. On the other matter with the government, we could not have the discussion in the board meeting. Government has addressed each one of our board members, and some of those issues need to be considered by us in a more elaborate fashion. So board has deferred that issue.
Got that, sir. Many thanks. Appreciate you taking the time, Mr. Rai, and good luck with business as sluggish as it may seem right now. Appreciate you speaking to us. That's IFCI. The stock's up about 1.2% on the back of those numbers. Sluggish environment, IFCI can't remain immune to it. That's all the time I have on fundamentals. Completely out of time. Thanks so much for watching.